So, if you just signed up for Visible 5G Home Internet and you're getting ready to set everything up, the very first thing that I would recommend is testing multiple locations around your house before deciding where exactly the router is going to stay permanently. This is an often overlooked step by many. Putting the router near a window, higher up, or even just moving it a few feet can indeed make a big difference in both speeds and signal quality. I would personally avoid, if possible, basements, enclosed cabinets, behind TVs, or areas surrounded by lots of electronics. So honestly, don't just put it where it looks nicest. You should actually test different locations first. Now, I will say this. The closer you are to the cell phone tower, location might not matter as much, but if you are farther away, you want as clear of a signal between the cell tower and the gateway as possible for the best speeds and performance. So basically, pick a spot, then run a few speed tests, move it around, and see what works best in your specific house. This next tip is probably one of the biggest quality of life improvements you could make during setup. Rename the visible Wi-Fi network and password to match your old router exactly. The same network name, same password, and same security type. The reason this helps is because a lot of your devices will just reconnect automatically without you having to manually reconnect everything. This is especially helpful if you have smart TVs, streaming devices, security cameras, smart plugs, printers, gaming consoles, or a whole smart home setup. Instead of reconnecting 30 different devices one by one, most of them, and most likely all, will simply reconnect automatically like nothing even changed. This one trick alone can save you a ton of time. And honestly, it's something that I've always done in my technical background for people. This is something that many don't even know was an option, but it works so well. Now, as to how exactly to do this, I'll get to that in just a minute because it actually ties in perfectly with our next session. Another thing I highly recommend doing early on is logging into the router settings page and just getting familiar with where everything is. Even if you're not super technical, at minimum, this lets you change your Wi-Fi name and password. This addresses what we just discussed previously. It allows you to also see your connected devices, reboot the router, and see your data usage, because it's the only way to actually view it. The Visible app doesn't tell you, surprisingly. Maybe one day they will add this. So now, I'm going to go ahead and go through these steps one by one with you to show you exactly how to do them. So, this is actually easiest if you have a computer that is connected to the Visible Internet Gateway. If you don't have a computer and you just have your cell phone, don't worry, this can also work. So what you're going to want to do is when you're connected to the Visible router, you're going to want to go up to your address bar and type in 192.168.1.1 and then hit enter. Now, you might get a page that says something about it being not secure. That is very typical of internal router settings. You're going to want to go ahead and just continue anyway. And then it's going to go ahead and ask for the login information for the Visible Gateway. That's located at the bottom of the gateway. Now, once you're logged in, you'll have access to changing the Wi-Fi information. And once that's done, you should get to a page that looks something like this. Now, to further change the Wi-Fi information, it's right up front and center. You're going to want to go to the little arrow right here, and that's going to give you your Wi-Fi name. Go ahead and make this the same Wi-Fi name as your current router, along with the password and the security type. Once all that is the same, all your devices will just reconnect. And once you've double checked everything, make sure everything is enabled, and then click on Apply Changes. And then all your devices are just going to go ahead and reconnect automatically. like you never even changed internet providers. Now, this next tip may help you if you run into issues connecting certain smart home devices. Some smart home devices only work properly on the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi networks. Meanwhile, newer phones and laptops often prefer the 5 gigahertz because it's faster. So, if you notice smart bulbs not connecting, your cameras not working as they should, or your smart plugs just acting weird, you may want to go ahead and turn on a setting called IoT Network. And I'll show you how to do this. So, once you're logged into the router, go ahead and go over to Wi-Fi, and then it says IoT Network. Go ahead and click on that, and this is where that gets configured right here. So, what you're going to do is you're going to use the same network name, password, and security type. So go ahead and edit that here, and then make sure the Wi-Fi enabled is on, and then click on Apply Changes. And that way, everything is still on one network. And this just simplifies the it just connects automatically effect. It is worth noting though, you can use a separate network name here if you want. And some people might even say it's better to have them separated for security reasons. But if you do this, you will have to manually reconnect all your smart home devices to this new network name. So I'll just leave that up to you. But here's the thing. If you currently don't have any problems with your smart home devices, honestly, I wouldn't even touch that setting. This is just for people that are actually having connection issues with smart home devices. So that's definitely something that's just good to know in case you start having issues. Now, once you finally settle on the best location and finish your setup changes, I would recommend rebooting the router one time, especially after you've just moved it around, you've changed some settings, you renamed the Wi-Fi name, or you've adjusted anything network related inside the settings of the router. Sometimes a fresh reboot just helps everything reconnect cleanly and stabilize. And honestly, this is just good practice in general with networking equipment. And I actually do recommend that you do this once a week. Cellular internets can be very finicky, and this just helps keep everything running at peak performance. Now, when you do this, follow these steps. Leave the router unplugged fully for about 45 to 60 seconds. Then go ahead and plug it in and wait about 5 minutes for the connection to stabilize. And then you should be good to go. And finally, if you eventually find that the built-in Wi-Fi coverage isn't quite strong enough for your house, remember that step I had you do when I had you perform the speed tests? You can always add your own router, a Wi-Fi extender, or a mesh Wi-Fi system later on down the road. This actually can help quite a bit in larger homes or areas where you have weaker Wi-Fi coverage. Now, for most people, the built-in Wi-Fi will probably be completely fine, but it's nice knowing that you do have upgrade options later if needed. Verizon actually provides a network extender for free with their 5G home internet service, but with Visible, they don't offer it. And I will go ahead and leave a link in the description and in the pinned comment for a couple different Wi-Fi extenders that I personally recommend. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to check your gateway's data usage. Now, once you're logged into the router, you're going to want to go ahead and go up to Advanced here. And then you're going to want to go under Diagnostics and Monitoring. And then Bandwidth Monitoring. And now here is your current data usage. They break it down by last hour, 12 hours, 24 hours, week, and then a month. Most of you are probably just interested in the month. But it is kind of interesting to see how they break it down into smaller periods as well. But here's your upload usage and your download usage. Mine actually reset a couple days ago. My download, I was almost at 400 gigabytes for the month. But this is where you can see how much data that you've used. And the unfortunate part is Visible doesn't actually show the home internet data usage in the Visible app. You have to go through this additional step to log into the router in order to see this. Maybe one day they can actually add it to the Visible app, because I know Verizon has it in their app. So honestly, overall, I think Visible Home Internet is pretty straightforward to set up once you know a few of these small tips ahead of time. And from my testing so far, it's been very reliable. I've gotten to the point where it actually just works as it should. And that's exactly the kind of experience that makes it actually worth it. And if you yourself are already using Visible Home Internet, let me know down in the comments what speeds you're getting and how your setup experience has been, and whether you've run into any sort of issues with it so far. Also, if you're considering trying out Visible 5G Home Internet for yourself, I'd recommend checking out this video right here, where I talk about my experience using it so far. So guys, I'll see you over there.